This will be your first time coaching in the USL Championship, but you do have experience coaching against a couple teams in the Open Cup. Talk about what you learned from those outings against New Mexico and Cincinnati, I believe. And what are your thoughts on the league itself and how it's grown over the past 5 years or so?
Well, I've tracked the league ever since I came into Major League Soccer. Part of my responsibilities both in Kansas City and in Minnesota was to make sure that I had a good grip on the player pool, the domestic player pool, which essentially is the USL and the college game. So I've watched a lot of games, helped prepare our teams to play those Open Cup games against both Cincinnati and New Mexico. And the talent level in the USL is very good. And probably even more than in MLS, there is a tremendous amount of parity from team to team. Anybody can win on any given day in any stadium. And that creates an environment and creates almost a do or die attitude every game. And so that's what you see in the league, is you see a very competitive game in and game out, minute in, minute out level of play that really excites me. And we have to be ready for that because the quality will be very high, but the transitional moments happen even more than they do in MLS. And so we've got to be a team that's very, very good in transition. And that's the one thing I've noticed about the league. The teams that are good in those transitional moments are generally the teams that have success.
Do you find Taft being a narrower field, and you spend some time out there, you know what it's like? Are you going to shape your team to kind of suit the style of play that fits a narrow field?
I don't know that it's to shape the team that way. We may play certain systems at home that we don't play away, and vice versa, because I think there are things you can take advantage of in Taft that you can't do in a larger stadium. And to be fair, it should be a major competitive advantage for us. And if it's not, that's no one's fault but our own. We don't train there every day, but we need to train there occasionally so that the players are comfortable with the confines, they're comfortable with the surface. And I think we really do need to make it a fortress for our team and our home fans.
Moving away from that, what would you say your coaching style is like, and I guess tactically and as a man manager?
Well, as a man manager, I think it goes right back to what we were just talking about. I think it has to do with having the relationships. Now, that doesn't mean you're soft on people. You can be really very demanding of people and have very high standards, but still be an emotional person, still be a caring person, and still have honest relationships and let people know where things stand. So that is really my man management and leadership style. My game style is trying to have the ball more than defending. But it's also about tactical flexibility. And when we train, I think you'll see something a little bit different than maybe you've seen in the past, because everything is related to the way we want to play. Every activity is related to the way we want to play. Much of what I do is positional, so the guys are always playing next to the guys they'll be playing next to in the game, or playing within the part of the field or the position that they're going to be playing in the game. So I have a methodology and a way of doing it both in the classroom/locker room and on the field that I think works. It's worked in the places I've been in the past, and I think it will continue to work here. But if you're going to ask me how we're going to play, part of that will depend on our players. And once we determine what that roster looks like, then we can figure out what the shape of the team will be. But it will be attack-minded. We'll play with depth, we'll play with width. We're going to look to unbalance the opposition. We're going to look to have the ball. We're going to look to transition quickly and try to press a little bit when we don't have it. Does that mean we press with the whole team? I honestly couldn't say that yet because I don't know all of our personnel. So that's something we'll iron out once we have the team. It'll give me a better idea of how we want to play. And then it's a matter of imprinting that game model on the players day in and day out in training.
You're actually the first American coach in the club's short history. Talk about the growth of the sport in this country, what you've witnessed in your lifetime, and kind of where it's at today.
Yeah, well, as I said, I grew up in New Jersey, and I watched the old NASL fold, which really induced a little bit of panic into my life because I didn't know where I was going to go and what I was going to do with my soccer career at that point. And I never want to see that happen in American soccer again. It is important to me. We talked about this during the interview process. Branding is an important issue when it comes to an organization, when it comes to a club. But I think it's every bit as important for the game within the country. It's important that we leave our mark when we're gone. When I'm dead and gone, I would hope that people would say he's helped elevate the game everywhere he's been and left a mark so that more people enjoy what they're doing, more people enjoy the game, more people love the game than before they met him. That's really what it means to me, and that's, again, I think that goes back to my upbringing and the impact that the league folding had on me.